A quick search about journaling can really show you how something simple can be turned into something complex so quickly. There are people journaling all kinds of things, from journaling their sleep, to journaling the number of cuss words they're using, to journaling the number of interactions they're having in a day and the quality of those interactions. And amongst all of this, it's very easy to forget the essence of journaling, which in my opinion is to track what matters the most to you and at the same time observe what goes into your conscious mind. And when I got introduced to journaling, I honestly wasn't quite sure how it would turn out for me. I had recently moved to San Francisco right after college, started a new job, was making a lot of new friends, and all of that was amazing. But at the same time, I felt like I was missing a sense of direction and clarity. And there were all these thoughts that were going through my mind, and one day I was just sitting in my bedroom and I had a piece of paper napkin right next to me, which I literally just opened up and started writing down the thoughts that were going through my mind. And something I observed by just doing something as simple was all these thoughts no longer seemed so scary. And that is because my mind started to quiet down. And I've noticed that when you're pursuing a long-term goal, be it a promotion or settling down in a new city, it's very easy to forget the small milestones that we accomplish along the journey, or even observe the behaviors that are potentially taking us away from our desired state or desired goal. And that's because many times when we make big decisions in life, we end up doing so just based on what we are thinking or how we are feeling in that particular moment. But once you start journaling, you get the opportunity to consult your past self. There's a study conducted by the Harvard Business School, and what they found was the pool of students who journaled at the end of each day performed at least around 25% better than the pool of students who did not journal. And this is because when done right, reflection can be a really powerful tool for learning. Recently, I've been really fascinated by the way your conscious and your subconscious minds work. So what I've learned is all your aspirations, your goals, your to-do lists, all of those really come in from your conscious part of the mind. However, all your habitual patterns, the patterns that you go through on a daily basis, those are powered by your subconscious mind. So anytime your conscious mind is lost in a particular action or lost in thought, your habitual mind or your subconscious mind kicks in and starts to take you through those repeated patterns. And what journaling helps you with is being more aware of your conscious mind. And just a couple of weeks in this practice of journaling, I definitely felt more in control of my day. And that was because I was more intentional about the areas that I would pursue and also the different items that I would not pursue in a day. And this made me more effective on a daily and a weekly basis. I feel there's this misconception that people believe that we learn from our experience. And there's this really popular quote that counters it extremely well by stating that we do not learn by experience, but we learn from reflecting on it. And journaling is a really powerful tool that helps you reflect on your experiences and in fact extract that learning from it. Alright, so when it comes to the physical act and the practice of journaling, I found a couple of things to be pretty helpful for me. I feel what's most important to be super realistic with yourself about the amount of time and the level of consistency that you wish to dedicate to this practice. Initially, when I started journaling, I found it extremely challenging to be journaling every single day. And oftentimes I would just sit down and ask myself, hey, what do I even journal, right? And after a particular point, it just ended up becoming a chore and I started almost developing a distaste towards journaling. So journal only on your own terms. You need not journal every day. You can just journal on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Just do what works for you. And think of journaling as a tool, not a daily ritual that you need to go through. And that's because if you start viewing journaling as a chore, you will start developing a distaste towards it, and you will definitely not be as consistent as you would have been had you done it at your own terms. And neither would you be in the right mindset to journal. Alright, so that takes us to the second point. Initially, when I started journaling, I honestly found it quite silly because oftentimes I would sit in front of my book and start asking myself, what do I journal about? And what I found is that's probably the wrong question to ask, because something that journaling has taught me is that we understand our minds way less than we can imagine. And you never really know what's going on in your mind until you start putting down your thoughts. So the best way to really know what to journal about is literally taking a piece of paper, a pen, and start to write down your thoughts. And something else I noticed was I often got the feeling that I wasn't journaling right until I got a great insight or was able to really dig deep into my thoughts and understand habitual patterns. But something I've realized is that's not the right way to think about it either, because on a daily basis we are going to the same job, performing a similar set of actions, and our day-to-day life at times can definitely be quite mundane, and that's totally okay. What's more important is to get into the flow of being observant of these thoughts, because you never know what insight you might encounter when. Instead, a slightly better way of thinking about journaling would be to think about it as just your own personal thoughts. You're not here to write down and publish a book. Your work is not being peer-reviewed by any researchers or by any other published authors. So don't be too hard on yourself. Just write down whatever goes through your mind and get into the flow of writing. I think that's the most important piece. However, while you do that, I've also found it helpful to maintain a daily journal, such as this, where I literally just go through on a daily basis the different things that I'm performing during the day, or plan out my month and so on. And at the same time also maintain a different journal when I feel I've gone through some kind of a milestone or some kind of a event in my life. I take the time out to think slightly deeply about journals, and by just separating my deep thoughts journal from my daily journal, I've found that it really helps me to get into the right mindset as well once I consciously choose one of these two to journal in. Alright everybody, so those were a couple of tips. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, do not forget to like, share and subscribe.